Aloha, Monroe Murdoch, broker owner of Love Hawaii Realty and Love Hawaii Villas, and I'm bringing you your Hawaii travel, tourism, and vacation planning update today, June 10th, 2020. I just did an update yesterday and did not anticipate getting several breaking news items today, but because we have breaking news, we're bringing you an updated video. Please like and subscribe to the videos and share these with anyone who are interested in Hawaii travel and what is happening over here. So first off, as far as new cases in Hawaii of COVID-19, within the past 24 hours, there have been 4 new cases on Oahu. Total cases to date that have come up in Hawaii have been 685, with 91% of people having been released from isolation and 64,000 tests having been administered to date. Again, Hawaii is one of the safest places in the country in terms of some of the lowest COVID-19 case counts. The biggest breaking news today is Governor Ige extending the mandatory 14-day quarantine through July 31st for all trans-Pacific travelers. As you know, next week, Tuesday, June 16th, inter-island travel is allowed to resume with the lifting of the 14-day quarantine. That's a good first step for travel to resume. They will be rolling out some procedures at the airports, doing temperature screenings, thermal scannings to the extent they have that, and then also mandatory paperwork to be filled out so that they can make sure they're not having any spread of the virus through this travel. If you have a temperature over, I believe, 100.4 degrees, you will not be allowed to travel. Now, with the continued extension of the quarantine through the end of July, that means the earliest we could expect any kind of trans-Pacific travel would be in August, granted if they come up with a plan and don't extend the quarantine yet again. They're talking about thermal scanners being added to the airports and also facial recognition software, which doesn't make any sense to me, but apparently anyone who has a temperature over 100.4, they would get their facial recognition for some reason. But yet they haven't rolled out any other plan or timeline or any other specifics as to how they're going to resume trans-Pacific travel. To say it's frustrating is an understatement for sure. So with the inter-island travel opening up, another breaking news is that the mayor of Kauai asked the governor if they could resume operations with vacation rentals and make them as essential instead of non-essential effective June 16th, and the governor said yes. To my knowledge, there have not been any other mayors in Hawaii that have asked the same thing. So for the other islands that have vacation rentals, they are still deemed non-essential, unfortunately. On that note, there was letters written by an attorney representing Elite Pacific Properties Brokerage and many of their owner clients sent to all the mayors and the governor, indicating that vacation rentals need to be given equal treatment with hotels and with other small businesses, and that they cannot deem them non-essential, as these owners are being deprived from rental revenue rights, even being prevented from renting long-term, which is questionable if this is even constitutional, what is going on. The expectation based on my read of that is that if they do not allow vacation rentals to be essential and to operate come inter-island travel June 16th, then I would expect they will be filing a lawsuit against the government on this, and I think they have every right to do that. It is an important part of the dialogue and a question as to why are legal vacation rental properties being shut down and being deemed as non-essential when these property owners have rights under the Constitution, both here as a state level and at the federal level, yet they're not allowed to generate any revenue for their properties. Meanwhile, hotels can continue to operate. It doesn't make sense. Along with that, there was an actual lawsuit filed in federal court representing multiple Hawaii residents, and this is again pertaining to a breach of constitutional powers granted the governor and elected officials, stating that their emergency powers are really only for 60 days. After that time, those expire and they cannot continue to put mandated quarantines and other restrictions on residents. It is bringing into question, well, how much power do they really have to shut things down? And again, I don't think this is done from a standpoint of just wanting to open everything up unilaterally, but it's questioning what authority do they have to be continuously extending these things. And if they don't have the authority, then that needs to be kept in check, which I think is a good thing as well. So again, even though it's breaking news, it's unfortunate that there's no real plan in place for opening trans-Pacific travel, but the hope would be that in the coming days and weeks, we'll have more updates. We're looking at another full month and a half now of travel virtually being shut down in Hawaii, which has significant, deep, and far-reaching ramifications on the economy, with hundreds of thousands of people out of work. essentially one of the highest unemployment rates in the country, and many businesses, including our own, that are literally generating no revenue at this time because there's no travel. We understand it's a complicated and challenging issue, and it should be the most important issue on the minds of our elected officials to figure out a solution, because they cannot continue to allow this to go on for months like this without really damaging the industry for years to come. So the hope is that they can figure out something sooner rather than later. It's not acceptable to continue to extend the quarantine month after month after month with no clear plan in place and no date being put out there at which time travelers can plan to come here and plan their future vacations, and also that businesses and hotels can plan which date they need to work with to reopen travel. So it's very frustrating, being a business owner here in Hawaii and trying to deal with this within the travel industry. We want to keep Hawaii safe. We want to keep the case counts down, but it is absolutely unacceptable to have all of our elected officials not producing any kind of clear plan when they've had months to do so. These are apparently smart people, but they do not appear to be focusing on the right things, which is how can they safely and quickly reopen Hawaii to tourism and to the local businesses. It doesn't make any sense to open up all these local businesses if you're not also going to resume tourism. These local businesses, many of which will not be able to survive without the tourism component. So it's going to reach a tipping point at some point. I don't know if that's a week from now, 2 weeks from now, 2 months from now, when industry leaders and businesses will have had enough, and they will be literally rising up against the government in order to reopen Hawaii's economy. They're trying to do it professionally and respectfully at this point in time, but people are going to start taking off the gloves soon, and it's going to be really interesting to watch. So we're continuously trying to do this in a professional manner, and there will be a lot more dialogue coming out, and we'll continue to do the updates. Our hope is that we can keep everyone informed and that Hawaii can resume safely travel so that we can bring people back to Hawaii to enjoy their vacations, as Hawaii is and always will be a destination of choice. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe and share, and we'll see you in the next video. Aloha.